Welcome to Cooking USA. Today we're gonna make my favorite biscuit and gravy. Classic, southern, adorable. Let's do it. Okay, ingredients. You're gonna need some biscuits. We eat 5, I eat 2, someone else has 3. It's good to have a couple different fats because you're gonna render your sausage down, but sometimes it's not gonna have enough fat to make your roux. So I've also got some bacon grease that I'm almost out of and some butter in case I don't have enough bacon grease and sausage grease. Yum, grease. Milk, you're gonna need a little bit of milk, a little bit of flour, and of course salt and black pepper. Nothing fancy. It's all just regular old good southern ingredients. We're having a really yummy biscuit and gravy, and notice that I've homemade these lovely biscuits. Joke. Some people like to use a more flat pan. I prefer this like saucepan, pasta pan, pot. It's just better. Honestly, it's just better. It gives you more room for your gravy. Okay, so the cool thing about biscuit and gravy is that you can put your biscuits in, and you just cook them to your package, or if you make homemade ones, that's fine. And then by the time you get done with your gravy, everything will be done. Your biscuits will be done, your gravy will be ready, and it's the perfect meal. All right, so we got to put our sausage in our pan. I turned my pan, oh shoot, I haven't turned my pan on. I turned my pan all the way up to high, and I use medium sausage. But hot is really good if you like something a little spicy. Pick it up a bit. Pro tip, if you don't want to clean a lot of dishes, which I never do, you can use this type of spoon all the way through your gravy making, but you are going to need a spatula. Whisk as well. So, all right, just start crunching up your sausage, and you just want it to be like, well, you can do it however you want. I like mine very fine, like a nice crumble. And I don't know, you might like a more hearty piece of sausage in your gravy. I won't judge. All right, so pro tip, if you squish your sausage down, it looks kind of disgusting, but I promise it's not. Squish your sausage down and get more surface area on that high heat, and you're gonna get a more brown sausage, and it's gonna get more fat rendered out. So don't be afraid to kick it up a notch and cook this on a high heat. Such a joy in this. So flip your sausage over, and you should be getting a lot of nice browning on the bottom. If you're not, your pan's not hot enough, or you're not letting it sit long enough. One of the two. You want that brown color. Don't be scared. So I'm waiting on my sausage to brown. I just wanted to show you all this lovely collection of sparkling cider. Normally it's $4 at the store. It's actually on sale for 99 cents right now. And I'm obsessed with it. Go get you some. Pro tip, if you have a little cute baby dog, sometimes they sit like this while they're trying to beg for some sausage. Okay, sausage is done. It's nice and brown. You're just going to transfer it onto a plate with a paper towel because you want to kind of soak up some of that grease that's not left behind in the pan. And just try not to scoop out your grease though. You want to save as much as possible because that's going to be your roux. Oh, frick, sausage on my shoe. If you're healthy, you're on a diet, you're doing some type of weird quarantine fast or something, don't look at this shot. But for the rest of us, look at all this grease that I got on my sausage. That's going to make an amazing roux. I mean, fat is a very important part of cooking. Just saying. It just is. So I've got my fat in here. I have a few pieces of sausage left over. That's totally fine. I'm actually moving to another burner, and I'm going to turn it on medium heat. You don't want to scorch your roux, so I'm completely changing burners because I do not have time to wait for it to cool down. All right. So sad. I'm going to be using the rest of this, which is like nothing. But I highly recommend that you try to use some type of animal fat for your sausage gravy instead of butter if you can, because it's just so much more flavorful. So I put a small pat of butter in there, probably about a tablespoon of bacon fat, and then all of the sausage fat that was rendered down. The more fat that you have in here, the more roux that you can make, and the larger your batch of gravy will be. Unfortunately, you just have to eyeball it with gravy. It just comes with talent. The next step is going to be adding flour to your roux. You want to do it a little bit at a time because you don't want your roux to be too thick. This can legit ruin your gravy. So just a little at a time, stir it up. This is nowhere near thick enough. So can you all see that's like liquid? Not enough. Go in with another spoonful. Okay, I've taken it to the edge. Living on the edge. Not risky of anything else in life, but I'm really risking it with my gravy. Pro tip, reserve this spoon so you can taste your gravy later. Gravy making is a lot of taste testing. All right. Okay, so you want your flour to cook a little bit, or your gravy is just going to taste like raw flour, but you don't want to burn it. So you want to take it just to the edge. Again, it's always a fine line with gravy, but you can do it. Just let it brown a little bit. You're getting close. You don't want to set this and forget this. You want to be right by this, stirring pretty consistently so it doesn't burn. We use 1% milk. Probably better to have whole milk for gravy, but it works. So you're going to slowly pour in while you're stirring a little bit of milk. This is a crucial part. You can get the worst lumps and clumps here if you don't stir while you pour. And sometimes you still get a few clumps, but you want it to be the smoothest gravy that you can. So this is just very liquidy now. As the milk heats up, it's going to react with the roux and it's going to become thicker like gravy. And we're going to see that in just a second. Continue stirring. It's thickening up. It literally happens in an instant. And this is where you're going to add more milk. You want to do it little by little. But keep stirring. Do not stop stirring. Don't add too much milk. You can't go back. So I forgot to set a timer for my biscuits. They're getting pretty close, but so is my gravy. And like I said at the beginning, it all comes together at once. So we're right on track. All right, pro tip. I'm looking for some tiny little crumbles of sausage. I'm going to go ahead and incorporate into my gravy. Because right now, the only thing that's giving this flavor is the fat that I added at the beginning, and the rest is just milk. So we're going to season at the end, but putting a little sausage in now is going to help flavor our gravy. I don't like a thick, goopy gravy. I prefer a good, not thin, but I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, this part is essential because if you don't season your gravy, it's not going to taste like anything. So what you need to do is you need to put a large amount of salt. Again, if you're on a diet, I'm so sorry. If you have cholesterol. Okay. Salt. Remember, regular old black pepper, coarsely ground. You don't want to sit here and grind whole peppercorns into your gravy. You want a real thinly ground gravy. Thinly ground pepper. Not thinly ground gravy. What is my problem? Ooh, look, it's getting so pretty. It starts to get a little bit speckled with the pepper. Obviously, the more pepper you put in, the spicier it's gonna be. We like it kind of spicy around here, so I put quite a lot. Spoon. Needs salt. Needs a little more pepper. not just with gravy, but with everything that you cook, you need to taste as you go. The seasoning will make or break your dish. That's salt mainly, but any other type of seasoning you're using, like for us, black pepper, or if you're making some other type of dish with some other type of seasoning blend, you really need to taste it because you're gonna have no idea how it's gonna turn out. So with gravy, you're tasting the whole time. It's so good. So the gravy's starting to boil. It's getting way too hot. You need to turn your stove down to low. Honestly, at this point, you could set it on a warm burner in the center of your oven if you like that. If you're a center brick. All right, let's check the biscuits. Yay! So I like to finish my gravy off with a little bit of milk at the end, just because it does thicken while it's cooking, and it just needs to be thinned out a bit right before you serve. Usually add just a touch more salt, touch more pepper at the end as well. And now it's time to plate. Look at our gravy. All right, so I just split the biscuits in half carefully. Don't squish them down and make them dense. Perfect. All right. We're gonna put our gravy over our biscuits. I wish that this was smell-o-vision because this is on point right now. Delish. I like a lot of gravy. Just so good. It's so good. Well, I'm sure most people will want to do this. I don't like extra sausage, but Woo likes extra sausage on top of his. And the other half we reserve for another breakfast recipe, usually the day after, or I make a breakfast casserole for the next couple breakfast days. And that's it. Don't judge our fancy china. Homemade biscuits and gravy. That's it. That's how you make biscuit and gravy. You'll probably mess up the first time. Maybe you won't. If you do, try it again. You'll master it. And come back next time for Cooking USA.